being very, very great and unique. They were not like the other palaces of Al-Jannah. So Rasulullah asked Jibreel according to this hadith, Ya Jibreel, liman hadhihi al-qusur, or liman hadha al-qasr? To whom do these palaces belong to? So Jibreel, he gave him the criteria, 4 words. He told him, هذا لمن أطاب الكلام وأدام الصيام وأطعم الطعام وتهجد بالليل والناس نيام. 4 things. Whoever does these 4 things, then that person will receive this prize of Allah, that palace that's made out of red ruby. So this hadith is narrated by Imam Ali. The Prophet is saying this to Imam Ali. So when Imam Ali heard this, he told him, Ya Rasulullah, وَهَلْ فِي أُمَّتِكَ مَنْ يُطِيقُ ذَلِكَ? Is there anyone in your ummah that can do all these 4 together? They seem to be too difficult. Only the best of the best awliya Allah can do these. But then Rasulullah told him, Ya Ali, udnu minni. Come close to me, let me explain. It's not as difficult as you think. These 4 things are much easier than you believe, than they may appear. Imam Ali told him, how so, Ya Rasulullah? The Prophet told him, as for the first one, Man atab al-kalam, whoever sweetens his words. What do we mean by that? The Prophet told him what Jibreel meant by that, whoever sweetens his words, Man atab al-kalam. Whoever says Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. That's it. Takes you 4 seconds. Make that a habit every single day. Say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar. Atab al-kalam. That's 1 out of 4. How easy is that? Is that difficult? Only takes you 4 seconds. Number 2, Man adama as-siyam, whoever maintains fasting. So the Prophet told him, Man sama shahru Ramadan. Whoever fasts during the month of Ramadan, you don't even have to fast the mustahab days. Just fast during the month of Ramadan, and you've done number 2. Alhamdulillah, everyone here does that. We're all fasting now during the month of Ramadan. So that's 2 down, 2 to go. And the first 2 are very easy, and all of you do them. Number 3, the 3rd thing that the Prophet said, Jibreel told the Prophet, Man at'am at-ta'am, whoever feeds people. So the idea that we have is whoever opens his house and gives, food to people, or whoever goes out distributing food. And some people may say, this is difficult, I don't have, it's costly, so on and so forth. But look at how Rasulullah defined Man at'am at-ta'am. He told him, Ya Ali, Man at'am at-ta'am huwa ar-rajul yuridu an yatlub ma yakuffu bihi an wujuh iyalih. He says what we mean by this is whoever goes and works so that he can achieve something, he can receive something, and with that he buys food for his family. So he can place food on the table. So whoever goes and works because he wants to feed his wife and kids, this is at'am al-ta'am. This is something all you here do. The ones that work. Unless some of us are on welfare, I don't know. But the point is, whoever goes and tries to make money so that he can feed his wife and kids, the Prophet says it's a good thing. This is 3 out of 4. The hadith says, Al-katu ala ayalih kal-mujahid fi sabilullah. The one that goes and works so that he can make something to provide for his family. This person is like al-mujahid fi sabilullah. So this person is not, we shouldn't think that this is dunya. No, if I'm doing it to provide for my family, now of course sometimes it becomes too much, it becomes an excess. That we're not speaking about. But the basics, so they can live, so I can pay my rent and my mortgage and food, and I can provide shelter for them, and I can allow them to live a dignified, respectful life. This is like al-jihad fi sabilillah. It's like I'm doing jihad. So this is 3 out of 4. They're all easy. We naturally do them. And finally, number 4, Man tahajjada bil-layl wan-nasu niyam. Whoever does tahajjud, tahajjud is ibadah, worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wan-nasu niyam, when everyone's sleeping. Now the idea that we have and maybe Imam Ali had, was Salatul Layl. Whoever waits till 2, 3 a.m., everyone's sleeping, but they wake up and they read Quran, they pray Salatul Layl, they do ibadah, they do all these mustahabats. That's difficult, correct? But look at what Rasulullah says. Look at how Rasulullah defines مَنْ تَهَجَّدَ بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ. He says, ذَلِكَ Salatul Isha. He's speaking about Salatul Isha, not Salatul Layl. Salatul Isha back then was the most difficult salah. Now what's the most difficult salah? Salatul Subh. Why? Do you know why? Because of this. Because these keep us awake till 1, 2, even me personally, I have to admit, sometimes I want to sleep, all of a sudden I see 1 hour is gone, while you're on social media, seeing the news, seeing those funny videos that they send you on WhatsApp, and just, looking at other people's posts, scrolling on Instagram and Facebook, all of a sudden 1 hour, easily 2 hours will go by. So because of technology, smartphones, TV, electricity, people now they sleep late. So Salatul Subh is difficult to wake up at 4 a.m., at 5 a.m. and pray Salatul Subh. It's the most difficult salah for us now because of technology. Back then, during the time of the Prophet, there was no electricity, there was no technology. As soon as the sun goes down, everybody's in bed sleeping, because what do you do without electricity? Without light, without electricity, there's nothing to do. It's depressing, it's dark, there's no lights, you just have candles. It's depressing, so everyone would be sleeping. I remember when I was young, I went for maybe a couple of months to Lebanon with my father. Maybe I was 4 or 5 years old. And I remember in the village that we stayed in, there was no electricity at night. So as soon as the sun would go down, the whole village would be asleep. And this is 20-some years ago. This is 1,000 years ago. 20, maybe 25 years ago. Everyone would be sleeping. As soon as the sun goes down, the chickens sleep, and we would sleep with the chickens as well. And we'd wake up with the chickens and roosters. If there's no electricity, trust me, you won't stay awake because it's boring. There's nothing to do. So back then, people would sleep as soon as the sun goes down. But as a Muslim, as a practicing Muslim, what do you have to do? You have to pray Salat al-Maghrib and Isha. Salat al-Maghrib is about 15 to 20 minutes after sunset. And Salat al-Isha, you can pray right after Maghrib, but usually the companions of the Prophet, they would wait until Waqt al-Fadila, the mustahab time to pray Salat al-Isha, which is another maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour after Salat al-Maghrib. This is our Salat al-Isha al-Fadila, not the one that you see, our Sunni brothers and sisters, they write it. It's not that one. It's maybe 20 to 30 minutes after Salat al-Maghrib. So back then it would be difficult. You're sleepy, you have to wait 15 minutes after sunset, another 20, 30 minutes, you pray Salat al-Isha. And by an-nas, when nasu niyam, people are sleeping, the Prophet says, I mean by that the non-Muslims. The non-Muslims, they would sleep right away sunset. But the Muslim would wait, pray Maghrib, pray Isha, and then sleep. So just pray Salat al-Isha, and you have the fourth thing. All these 4 things are very, very easy, brothers and sisters. And you receive that huge mansion in Al-Jannah. That's made out of rubies. It's beyond our comprehension. I can't describe it to you because the Prophet said, فِيهَا مَا لَا عَيْنٌ رَأَتْ وَلَا أُذُنٌ سَمِعَتْ وَلَا خَطَرَ عَلَى قَلْبِ بَشَرٍ. Whatever is in Jannah, in paradise, it is beyond our imagination. No one has seen anything like it. No one has heard anything like it. It's beyond your imagination. And 4 things, just maintain fasting during the month of Ramadan. Every day make it a habit. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Provide for your family. And finally, pray Salat al-Isha. These 4 easy things, and you will receive that mansion. So it's very easy to seek the satisfaction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another tradition, it's narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam one day, he spoke to his companions, the Sahaba, and he asked them 3 questions. He asked his Ashab. Question number 1, he asked his companions this question. مَنْ مِنْكُمْ يَصُومُ الدَّهْرَ كُلَّهُ? Who amongst you fasts for his entire life? His entire life he fasts. His companions looked at each other. Nobody, of course. We could barely fast Ramadan, now our entire lives. So of course nobody stood except one of his companions. Who? Salman al-Farisi. Salman stood and he said, Ana ya Rasulallah, I fast my entire life. The companions were surprised. Salman fasts his entire life? No way. Then Rasulullah told them, good ya Salman, sit down. And then he asked another question. Man minkum yaqdi al-layla bil-ibadah. Who amongst you spends every night of his life in ibadah? The whole night. Ibadah, worship, dua, Quran, salah. Salman, once again, he's the only one. He stood and he said, Ana ya Rasulallah. The Sahaba were like, wait a minute. The first one, as we said, tawafna. Fine, we believed it. But now the second one too, not only do you fast your entire life, but you also spend every night in ibadah. They were skeptical about that. Rasulullah told them, sit down. Then the Prophet asked the third question. Man minkum yakhtim al-Qur'ana fi kulli yawm. Every day, who amongst you reads the Quran, the entire Quran, every single day of his life? Once again, Salman said me. The Sahaba now, they were getting uneasy. They were upset because they thought Salman is lying. It's impossible that he does all these three. It's not easy to read the Quran every single day. Some of us, we struggle reading the Quran during the 30 days of Ramadan, correct? 30 days is too little for us. We need more time. Imagine Salman, every day he reads the entire Quran. So the companions, they went to Rasulullah. Ya Rasulullah, Salman is lying. The hadith says, they said this. They said, Salman min al-Furs. He is from Persia. ويريد أن يفتخر علينا نحن العرب معاشر قريش. Salman is from, he's a Persian, and we're Arabs, we're from Quraysh. He just wants to boast and show off in front of us, to say that we Persians are better than you Arabs. So the Prophet told them, no, do not say that. Salman is one of my best companions. Salman is like Luqman al-Hakim. So go and ask him and he will give you the tafsir of what he said. It's kind of like the first hadith. It's not what you think. They went to Salman, they told him, Ya Salman, you said that I fast my entire life. That's not true. We saw you many days, you're having lunch. So why did you say that? Why did you lie? He told them, no, لَيْسَ حَيْثُ ذَهَبْتُمْ. He said, what I meant by that is every single month, besides Ramadan, of course, where I fast the entire month of Ramadan, every single month, 11 months out of the year, I fast every month 3 days. And Allah writes me as if I have fasted the entire month. How? He said, come to the Quran. You see how clever he is, Salman? Come to the Quran. Allah says in the Holy Quran, مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ فَلَهُ عَشْرُ أَمْثَالِهَا. Whoever does one good deed, Allah will multiply it by 10. Allah will write for you as if you did it 10 times. So when he fasts the first day, Allah writes he fasted 10 days. When he fasts the second day, Allah writes 20 days. The third day, 30 days. I fasted 30 days of this month. And 30 days of every month. So every month, if you fast only 3 days, Allah will write for you as if you fasted the entire month. If you do that every month, it's as if you were fasting your entire life. How easy is it? 3 days. Fast, and 27 days, break your fast. And they don't have to be consecutive. Fast 1 day, break your fast for 9 days. Fast 1 day, it's very easy. Choose a weekend where you can sleep in till Dhuhr. And some of the months they'll be in winter, so it'll be easier. Your Maghrib here is probably 5 p.m. or maybe even earlier. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies that by 10. It's as if you're fasting your entire life. So that's number one. Number two, Ya Salman, you said that every night you spend it in ibadah. That's not true. Many nights you're sleeping. You're not always in ibadah. Maybe some nights. He told them, this is also, I understood this from the hadith of the Prophet. He told them, سَمِعْتُ حَبِيبِي رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمْ يَقُولُ. I heard Rasulullah say, مَنْ بَاتَ عَلَى طُهْرٍ فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا اللَّيْلَ بِالْعِبَادَةِ. SubhanAllah, he was paying attention. Salman was paying attention when the Prophet gave these secrets. The other Sahaba, they were sleeping. I can't say they were on their phones, but there was no phones back then. But they were sleeping, they were dozing. They did not benefit from these secrets that Rasulullah said. Instead of spending the nights in ibadah, the Prophet said, just do wudu. How long does wudu take? 30 seconds, 1 minute. And then sleep and snore the entire night, and the angel will write for you ibadah, salat, Quran, dua. And all you're doing is you're sleeping. He said, I learned this from Rasulullah. And every night I do wudu and then I sleep. Now how easy is that? Just do wudu every night before you sleep. Okay, fine. This one, we'll give it to you. What about the third one? You read the Quran every single day of your life? He told them likewise, سمعت حبيبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يقول, I heard the Holy Prophet say, من قرأ قل هو الله أحد فكأنما قرأ ثلث القرآن ومن قرأها مرتين فكأنما قرأ ثلثي القرآن ومن قرأها 3 مرات فكأنما ختم القرآن. The Prophet said, he said, I heard Rasulullah say this. This is not from me. Whoever reads قل هو الله أحد, which takes you how many seconds? 5 seconds. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد. الله الصمد. لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Takes you 5 seconds if you read it all the fast. Whoever reads it, Allah will give you the thawab of reciting 1/3 of the Quran. You read it twice, 2/3. You read it thrice, 3 times. Correct? How easy is that? So Salman, he received all of these, all of the status, high status. Allah has written for him that he fasts his entire life. Every night, ibadah, every day he reads the Quran, and he's only doing these minor things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed these shortcuts. Why don't we take advantage of these shortcuts? Even these shortcuts, we don't do them, most of us. Why? It's so easy, brothers and sisters. Make it a habit every day when you wake up, before you sleep. Read قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ 3 times. It'll take you less than a minute. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. If you can fast 3 days out of every month, at least some of the months. At least Rajab and Sha'ban, these 2 holy months. And finally, just do wudu and Allah will write your ibadah. So all of this shows us how easy it is for us to accumulate good deeds. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
But unfortunately, many of us, we forget about these good deeds. We forget about these good deeds and we get carried away by the dunya. The dunya distracts us and we fall in love with the dunya and we forget about all of this. We forget that we have another life. That is al-Jannah, the hereafter, which is much longer, which is much more important than this. And we're so worried about building this dunya. We're so worried about the desires of the dunya and money and whatever is a part of this dunya. And we forget about our akhirah. In one tradition, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, look at this beautiful hadith. He says, "Man نظر إلى والديه نظر رحمة." Whoever looks at the face of his parents. If you look at the face of your mother and your father, if they are alive, may Allah prolong their lives. If they are dead, may Allah have mercy upon them. If they are alive, they are the greatest blessing of Allah against you, brothers and sisters. Listen carefully. The Prophet says, just look at the face of your mother with love. Look at the face of your father with affection, with mercy, with love. You know, a type of, you see someone when they're looking at someone else, you can tell if they love that person or if they hate that person. Just the look itself can tell you. Look at them, نظر رحمة. What will Allah give you? كتب الله له أجر حجة مبرورة. Allah will give you the thawab of going to Hajj. Going to Hajj takes 2 weeks, spend all that money, all that effort, all that work you have to do in Hajj. The thawab of that you can get just by looking at the face of your father or your mother. Look at them with love, with mercy. Now of course that doesn't mean look at the face of your father and khalas, you don't have to go to Hajj anymore. No, it's still wajib. You have to go to Hajj if you are financially capable. But the thawab of Hajj, you can get it just by looking at the face of your parents. So one of the companions told Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, what if I look at the face of my father 1,000 times a day? I'll get 1,000 times Hajj? The hadith says, the Prophet said, even if you look at the face of your father or mother 100,000 times a day. Mi'at. Allah, every time. Allah is Kareem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so generous. Look at how easy it is, brothers and sisters, to please Allah and to receive the ajr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we read in the dua of Rajab. It's a beautiful dua we read usually after salah. Ya man yu'ti al-kathira بِالْقَلِيلِ. Allah is the one that gives so much. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that showers you, gives you all this ajr for so little. I'm not doing anything. Really, we're not, trying to be polite. I'm really not doing anything, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me so much. And when is it a better time than the month of Ramadan, brothers and sisters, to seek these opportunities? We have to wake up, brothers. Enough dunya, enough spending on the dunya, and going after the desires, and just focusing on building our dunya. Let us focus on the akhirah. It's so easy, so little things, easy things that we can do. The best time to do that is the month of Ramadan. Do you know why? Because in Ramadan, the thawab of everything is multiplied. See all this thawab that we spoke about? How easy it is and how great it is? In Ramadan, it's even multiplied more. In one hadith it's narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, شهر رمضان أفضل الشهور. It's the best month. Why? لما تتضاعف or لتضاعف الأجر فيه. One reason why Ramadan is so special is because Allah multiplies the ajr of all your a'mal in Ramadan. So imagine all those ahadith I just mentioned. For each look at the face of your father or your mother, one hajj. For just do wudu and sleep, Allah will write your ibadah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, akbar. Allah will give you that palace. And so on and so forth, the thawab I mentioned. In Ramadan, Allah multiplies it. And that's why Ramadan is so special. And the Prophet, he mentioned this in his sermon. You've heard the famous khutbah of Rasulullah before the month of Ramadan. What did he say? He went on the minbar and he spoke to his ashab about the beauty of the month of Ramadan. He told them, أيها الناس إنه قد أقبل إليكم شهر الله بالبركة والرحمة والمغفرة. O people, the month of Allah, the month of Ramadan is approaching. He told his ashab before Ramadan. The month of Ramadan is approaching with its rahmah and maghfirah, blessings, barakah and mercy. شهر هو عند الله أفضل الشهور. This month is the best month in the eyes of Allah. وأيامه أفضل الأيام ولياليه أفضل الليالي وساعاته أفضل الساعات. This month, the days, the nights, the hours are the best. You will not find any day, any month more holy than the month of Ramadan. And then the Prophet spoke about the reasons why the month of Ramadan is so holy. Do you know why it's so holy? He spoke about what makes Ramadan so special. He said, number one, أنفاسكم فيه تسبيح. Every time you breathe, Allah will write for you as if you are doing Subhanallah, 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 Subhanallah. You see some people, usually the elderly generation, everywhere, every time you see them, they have a sibha in their hands. What are they doing? Subhanallah, Subhanallah. They've made it a habit. Wherever they are, I know some people, the whole day, they have a sibha, and they're doing Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. In Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it so much easier to be like those people. You don't have to carry a sibha. You don't have to carry those, counters, those things that count. You don't have to do any of that. Do you know what you have to do? Just breathe. Breathe. You're forced to breathe. So you're getting thawab for something that you're forced to do. How many times do we exhale and inhale? Maybe 10,000 times, 5,000 times every day? I don't know. For each time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write you tasbih. Can it get any easier, brothers and sisters? I mean, could we be any lazier? Just breathe and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe someone's too lazy for breathing, I don't know. But even if I'm the laziest person in the world, just breathe. Right now we're all breathing. This is all tasbih. Tasbih for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How lucky are we during the month of Ramadan? And then the Prophet said, وَنَوْمُكُمْ فِيهِ عِبَادَةً. In Ramadan, just sleep, Allah will write that for you in ibadah. Now, in the hadith of Salman, we mentioned the Prophet said, do wudu, and Allah will write ibadah. That maybe it's too much for some of us. We're too lazy to do wudu before we sleep. Ramadan, you don't even have to do the wudu. Just go and sleep. Wherever you are, just go and sleep. And Allah will write ibadah for you as if you prayed Salat al-Layl, you read Quran, you read Dua. Just sleep. Can it get any easier than that? That's why I think it should be called the month of the lazy individuals. Just sleep and breathe, and you will be written amongst the best individuals, the best worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's if you did nothing. Imagine if you're someone that does something in Ramadan. You actually do read Quran. You actually do read Dua Abu Hamza, Dua al-Iftitah. You pray Salat al-Layl. You recite at least one chapter every day. If you're just doing nothing, Allah is giving you all that. Imagine if you do something. How generous will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with you? And then He said, وَعَمَلُكُمْ فِيهِ مَقْبُولٌ. Your a'mal will be accepted in the month of Ramadan. Because outside of Ramadan, who knows if Allah will accept my a'mal? It depends. Maybe when I pray, for example, the hadith tell us if there is no khushu', no focus, concentration, I'll speak about that inshallah in the subsequent nights, you will not receive ajr. Your amal will not be maqbool, your salah will not be accepted. Maybe sometimes we perform some good deeds, but we don't do them in the correct way, they will not be accepted by Allah. But in Ramadan, Allah is much more lenient. He will accept your amal anyway. And finally, وَدُعَاءُكُمْ فِيهِ mustajab. Your dua will be answered, your supplications, Allah subhanahu, even though if you don't deserve to be answered. And I'll speak about that also inshallah, the things that prevent us from seeing our dua being answered. But in Ramadan, Allah is lenient. He says, fine, he doesn't deserve it, but I will answer his dua anyway. Is there any opportunity more beautiful than the month of Ramadan, brothers and sisters? In one tradition, the Holy Prophet said about the month of Ramadan, he said, whoever recites one verse in the month of Ramadan, كَانَ كَمَنْ خَتَمَ الْقُرْآنَ فِي غَيْرِهِ. Allahu Akbar. Read one verse of the Quran. Say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. You don't even have to finish. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ. Allah will write for you the ajr of reciting the entire Quran for each verse. Each verse, Allah multiplies it. How many verses in the Quran are there? Does anyone know? 6,200 something. Every day they say, they bring a new number. I don't know, is the Quran changing or what? 6,200 something. Verses in the Quran. Read one verse in Ramadan, Allah will multiply it by 6,200. Just one verse. So why shouldn't I take advantage of this opportunity, brothers and sisters? Read at least one chapter, 20 pages. If you're a fast reciter, it'll take you 20 minutes. If you're a slow reciter, maybe 30 minutes. You don't have to do it together. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. It's so easy, brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could not have made it easier for us to be holy during the month of Ramadan. And finally, there's a hadith from the Holy Prophet where he says in this beautiful hadith, whoever prays every night during the month of Ramadan, every night pray 2 rak'ahs. After Surah Al-Hamd, recite Surah Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad 3 times. So read Surah Al-Hamd. Instead of Qul Huwa Allah once, read it 3 times. And then the second rak'ah, also read Surah Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad 3 times. This salah will take you 2 minutes. Whoever does that, the Prophet said, Allah will send 100,000 angels. They will come just to count your thawab. 100,000, they can't count the thawab. And Allah will write for you the ajr of freeing 70 slaves fi sabilillah. Back then, during the times of the Imams, one of the best acts to do, the Imams would tell us, to buy a slave if you can afford one and free him, free a man. And if you would do that, the thawab for that would be unbelievable. It's like you gave life, a new life to a human being, because you freed him from servitude, from being a slave. Now there's no slaves, we can't do that. But if you pray this salah, Allah will give you the thawab of freeing 70 slaves. The thawab of that is unimaginable, brothers and sisters. It's so great, I cannot even comprehend it. So let's take advantage, brothers and sisters, of the month of Ramadan, especially Laylatul Qadr. Tomorrow night, inshallah, will be Laylatul Qadr, the first of Laylatul Qadr. And we will have a'mal during Laylatul Qadr after Iftar, inshallah. We'll read Dua al-Joshan, we'll place the qara'een on our heads, and if there aren't enough qara'een, I advise you to bring your own copy of the Quran with you tomorrow night, inshallah. Laylatul Qadr, the Quran says, خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. It's better than 1,000 months. So it's equal to 30,000 nights. So imagine, if you read one verse in Ramadan, Allah times it by 6,000, right? If you read it in Laylatul Qadr, times the 6,000 by 30,000. What's the number? What's 6,000 times 30,000? Anyone know? It's in the millions. 6 times 3 is what they taught us in second, third grade.
Oh, 9.
18, right? And then carry the zeros.
Oh, 6,000.
18 million.
Try to keep you awake, inshallah. So we had 3 zeros and then 7 zeros. So that's probably 180 million, correct? You do the math later on. 180 million. If in Laylatul Qadr, you recite one verse, say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Say Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say Mudhammatan, the shortest verse, it's just one word. Read that verse of the Quran, Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim, just say Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam. Every time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the thawab, will multiply the thawab by 180 million. This is in Laylatul Qadr, and we have 3 of them. Now there's only, inshallah I'll speak about them, there's only one true Laylatul Qadr, so let's take advantage of all 3 of them. Do istighfar during Laylatul Qadr, try to pray some salawat during Laylatul Qadr, read some Quran, dua. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He may forgive you. He may forgive us. He may give us tawfiq. He may give us success in this world, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So let us, brothers and sisters, try during this month, and there's only 12, 13 days left of the month of Ramadan. Let us try to focus on seeking nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on building our spirit, our iman. And the best ways to do that, to build your iman, to build your spirit, is to do these a'mal, these short things. I'm not telling you to read, every night, Dua Abu Hamza Tamali. Read it once a week, read it once every 10 nights. Once during the month of Ramadan is good. But do these easy things that I told you, that the Prophet taught us, that the Imams of Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salam taught us. When someone wants to build his body, what does he have to do? He has to go to the gym, he has to carry weight. Each time he carries the weight, he's getting bigger and bigger. Each time you say Subhanallah, Walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Each time you read Quran, each time you do dua, each time you do one of these good deeds, you're building your nafs. Because remember, you have a spirit and you have a body. The same way that we love to be bodybuilders, let us try to be nafs builders. Let us try to be ruh builders. Let us try to build our nafs. Because the Holy Quran tells us that on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect us with our nafs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we won't benefit from our body anymore if I'm strong. I'll benefit from my nafs, from my heart. If my heart is pure on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala considers me someone that will pass. The Holy Quran says about this, that nothing will help us on the Day of Judgment. Your money won't help you, your family won't help you, your connections won't help you, your tribe won't help you. يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ. Nor your money, nor your children. إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. The only thing that will help you is if you come to Allah with a pure heart. Let's try to purify our hearts during the month of Ramadan with these beautiful a'mal. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us during this month of Ramadan, to accept our a'mal and our hajat, to give us the tawfiq that we can do some of these easy deeds and seek nearness to the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج واجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه والمستشهدين بين يديه. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات نهدي ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلوات.